Welcome, everyone, and thank you for attending the Advanced Chatbot Development webcast. My name is Joe Wong, and I'll be one of the speakers today. Along with me is Don McGinnis. We're both part of the Oracle Digital System Product Management team, and today we're going to talk about an offering from Oracle around chatbot development and also what makes it a advanced development for a chatbot. Quick safe harbor, we are going to share some roadmap information, and as all the roadmap information, things may change pending circumstances. So just a disclaimer. So today we have just 4 topics. We're going to first give an overview of the chatbot development and what we're offering in this space. Then we're going to go into 3 areas that really pushes the envelope for the development of chatbot and conversational user experience to the next level. One is around this multi-skilled chatbot digital assistant that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to elevate customer services with integration with digital assistant, as well as what Oracle is doing around advanced voice to text support. So first of all, I think most of you have heard of the chatbot and what that chatbot is. And Oracle Digital Assistant, in short, is the platform to build intelligent chatbot. It's AI based on natural language processing. You can basically talk or send a text for answers and so forth. And we actually, on the screen on the right here, you're actually seeing a digital assistant, about a digital assistant. If you really want to play with it, there's a bit.ly link on it. But basically, it's a digital system that we developed that you can ask about what is Oracle Digital Assistant, anything from basic questions to anything, something more advanced, such as how do you build a chatbot and how you configure connecting a chatbot with a messaging application. And most of you are familiar, obviously you joined the webinar, so you're interested in chatbot and what it can do. Chatbot has been around, only maybe become viable for a couple of years, and most of the chatbot is single purpose. It serves a particular set of functionality. You have to trigger it, and it typically understands fairly simple sentences. And what we're doing with Digital Assistant and making it essentially advanced chatbot development is to make it multi-purpose, making it proactive and predictive, and also much more natural and complex sentences and interaction. So we're going to show you how that's being done, and what are the key aspect of the digital assistant that enables more advanced development and multi-purpose development of conversational user experience. Now, first of all, let's look at an anatomy of a chatbot, and we're going to use the terminology skill. And it's basically a terminology that we're using to describe essentially a chatbot that has a single focused set of functionality. And I think most of you probably have worked with a chatbot platform, and typically all of the chatbot platform has those 4 components. As a component that configures and connects to messaging application, and in our case, there's a channel configurator. You will configure with, for example, if you want to connect to Facebook, there's some client secret and there's a URL that you will configure, and it also abstract sort of the differences between different channels and connects it with a single digital assistant. The second level is a dialogue flow, design time and execution. All of the chatbot client platform, has ability for you to define what a dialogue looks like, and essentially works like a state engine and executes a conversation. The third part is the integration with the backend, and with the enterprise data integration for Oracle Digital Assistant. This is done all using very common open source technology based on Node.js. So, anyone, I think most of you are familiar with Node.js. That's really how we connect with backend application data. Very flexible. The fourth part is a conversational AI engine. That's the core, the brain of the engine that allows the digital assistant to be trained and understand human utterances, and also be able to extract key entities, which is basically keywords from the digital assistant, and from what user says. So again, all of the chatbot platform has these four component, and Oracle Digital Assistant, a single skill in Oracle Digital Assistant is no exception. However, what makes Digital Assistant really multi-purpose is the concept of Digital Assistant composed of modular skills or a chatbot. Okay, so how does that really work? So basically, you as a developer or Oracle as a company would develop these individual chatbot or skills, and for a specific set of functionality. So for example, for HR, human resources management, Oracle, or maybe you as a developer would develop a chatbot for managing employee goals or managing absences. You may also develop your custom skills for example, ERP, maybe for expenses and so forth. And then what you would do is take a set of these skills, then compose your digital assistant with those set of skills. So a digital assistant becomes this uber skill that's consistent multiple skills, and which allows a single user, a conversational user experience to be able to fulfill multiple purposes, right? So and what Oracle has, and this is unique with a lot of the solution in the market today, is that we not only have a complete and open platform, but we also have a very rich set of pre-built skills and chatbots. So just similar to how Oracle has a very rich set of applications and offerings, we also created corresponding chatbot or skills to these functionality, so that you can have a conversational user experience with chatting with your HCM application, ERP application, filing expenses, or logistics for truckers driving around and asking digital assistant, where's my next destination. Sales and service, providing much better customer service, which we're going to talk about how you would do that. And there's a number of these pre-built functionality from Oracle on top of this open platform. However, we're going to focus more on the development side of things because this is the intent for this session, is to talk about how to build advanced chatbot. If we look at the functional architecture, right, and on the left side is a variety of channels or messaging applications, and user can interact with a digital assistant through a conversational experience, whether it's a messaging application, Facebook Messenger, Slack, Microsoft Teams, and so forth. And also interacting with Oracle Voice, through mobile applications or through the web client. We're going to see a number of these later today. It all goes through, as previously mentioned, our channel layer. And then as request, a user utterance comes in, let's say asking a question, what is my vacation balance? You will go to this intelligent routing component or intelligent routing layer. That will determine, okay, the request is really about asking, well, vacation balance, that's the HR application, so it's going to route to an HCM skill. If the question is, what is my, if I'm a sales rep, say, what is my current opportunity, it's going to know, oh yeah, it's they're talking about sales, so I'm going to route to a sales chatbot or a skill. And then within that skill, then there's a layer of intent resolution to decipher, okay, now it's routed to the HR skill. You're really asking about vacation balance versus you want to give someone a feedback. And that's what the intent resolution engine would do, just like any other chatbot, and then handle the conversation from that point on. Of course, then on the back end are all of these applications that exposes a set of data and services to the digital assistant. Now, the first thing I'm going to cover and is going to focus on is intelligent routing, which is really a key feature for digital assistant. What makes it smart? What exactly is intelligent routing and why is it critical, right? So it is a key component of digital assistant that enables a much richer and more human-like experience. It acts like a aircraft traffic controller. So it basically controls overall flow of the conversation, routes between the different skills, and also is an important and is key component for orchestration of routing between different skills. And Dom, my colleague here, is a pilot, so I'm sure he can appreciate the importance of aircraft air traffic controller, although this is probably not an aircraft traffic controller, more someone in a control tower. Anyway, you get the general idea. Basically, the way it works is requests are routed to basically based on which skill best fit the user utterance. And it does have the ability to do further disambiguation. Say, well, do you meant to invoke, are you asking a question about HR or are you really asking about a sales-related question? There are two ways of routing between the different skills. One is what we call implicit invocation, and this is configurable. You can also set it up, which basically is based on what user says, it will route to the right skill. There's also another way to invoke, which is called explicit invocation. So if user knows, okay, I'm really asking about HR question, I'm going to be very explicit and basically say ask blah, you know, and you can directly name the reference for the skill and then also explicitly utter that. I mean, it's not very common user actually do an explicit invocation. However, we do give hints in the digital assistant, so user actually do get a hint what the name of these different skills, and user can definitely explicit invoke. So we have two mechanisms where the user can be routed to a specific skill. Again, it's completely customizable. The way that it works is, and the advantage for digital assistant, and an example would be, okay, if I ask the question, I want to order a new laptop, obviously that's being handled by the procurement skill. And so I continue the conversation, and what if in the middle of the conversation, I remember, well, gee, I really, I'm not getting a new laptop. I don't really remember when I'm going to start my new job. So I can just in the middle of the conversation ask a question: what day do I start my job? And then the digital assistant will route that request to a different skill or chatbot around job offers, right? So what is it? So the benefit for some of the key benefits for something like this is that first of all, you can model each of the conversations in a modular way. You don't have to basically create a gigantic chatbot that can handle all possible user interactions. And as you can imagine, what an employee goes through in a typical day for a sales rep, you need to ask about, handle sales information, HR information. You may ask, you need to get IT help. There's a lot of these different things that the an employee may need and help with. And it is impossible. And those of you who work with a conversational chatbot before knows that the more functionality you try to cram into a single chatbot, the more difficult it is for the chatbot to disambiguate between the different intent. So this gives you a very modular way of creating individual conversation flows and a focused set of intent for a skill then use digital assistant to manage these skills. Allows you to do incremental development. It simplifies all the code management. It can also really help you with non sequitur handling, and the non sequitur, as you know, those of you know, basically means the ability to handle an out of context, out of the band utterance in the middle of a conversation, which most of the chatbot struggles with. This is a key component of helping with that. All right. So let's now switch to a demo of a digital assistant. And I talked long enough about what a multi-skilled chatbot looks like. We're going to really look at one. In this case, we're going to look at a a day in the life of a sales rep. His name is Lisa Jones, and of course, as it happens in the middle of the demo, it wants to refresh, but that's fine. All right, so I'm going to greet the digital assistant with say hi, and then knows who I am because I logged in as Lisa Jones. And now I can start to, the first thing that I can talk to my digital assistant about, since I'm a sales rep, is I want to know what I have up for today. So basically, in sales terminology, is asking about my daily briefing. Okay. Okay, so it looks like, okay, I have some opportunity closing this quarter. I have one appointment and things like that. I can look at my pipeline or look at the next appointment so I know where I'm heading to next. Okay, and I can also look at what is my pipeline. And I can see a list of my opportunities. And I see infrastructure system overhaul. It's in qualification phase. I can look at more details. In this case, as a salesperson typically do, I can also add a note. And the nice thing about Digital Assistant is we also have voice support, so I can just use voice to dictate a note. I'm going to visit the customer today. Okay, so obviously it's a nice way of dictating a note so that I don't have to type everything, and the note was added. Okay, now what is now I remember, well, gee, I'm really you really need a day off. You know, I've been working too hard. I've been on Zoom all day. What can I do? I can just say, what is my vacation balance? All right, so I was in the middle of a conversation around sales and opportunities, and now I'm switching gears out of context, out of and asking about HR question. Digital Assistant is smart enough to route the request and say, "Huh, you're asking an HR question. I'm going to route you to a the HR chatbot or skill," and I can continue the conversation here. What is my medical group ID? Okay. All right, and I can also ask about my medical group ID. And then, okay, let's say I want to go back, look at my opportunity again. I can just simply type or say that, and it will just route me back to my opportunity. Actually remembers the last opportunity I was looking at. I can then at this point also update the opportunity and so forth. And this is where the update opportunity, and with this Workflow Digital Assistant, you can also embed links to actual functionality, or you can obviously allow the end user to finish the conversation through the digital assistant. Now, I just remember now that I remember a colleague of mine was really helpful So I'm going to, but I can't remember his detail. His name is Brian Joseph. So I can say who is Brian Joseph. Now I have the digital assistant just routed me back over to the HR skill and give me the information about Brian Joseph. And at this point, I can then, now I remember, well, gee, I need to file an expense. So I'll just say file expense. And now it's routing me yet to another chatbot or skill to allow me to file an expense. And the nice thing about, and this is something that Oracle has created, and we're also using it internal within Oracle, is that I can simply upload a receipt of the let's see, sorry, of the expense. And here is, of course, if I run this on a mobile phone, I'll be able to just take the picture directly and upload it. And what's going on in the background is that it will go ahead and do an optical character recognition of the receipt and then try to decipher the details. And this is just part of my breakfast. So I'm just going to type, categorize it as a breakfast. And then it's able to recognize the merchant name, the country, and the amount, and also the date. And trust me, these details are correct. And then if I just go ahead and confirm that with this code, this is a security feature, then it's going to go ahead and create that expense for me. Okay. All right. And now, next thing, I just, my laptop is now acting up. I need to get a new laptop. So I say I need to get a new laptop. And digital assistant at this point recognized that, well, I want to get a new laptop, so no longer an expense module. I'm going to the procurement module. It's going to make a recommendation on some of the common laptop that the end user, my colleagues has been using. I can look at more details. So now I'm pretty happy with this, and I like the tablet. I'm going to choose the Lenovo Yoga, and I'm going to, and in this case, the digital system will help me to create a requisition for you in the procurement module. So again, it's yet another chatbot that I have invoked. Finally, this is a, I have a question on some HR process. And one of the key terminology we all are very familiar with is essential workers, right? So, well, I'm a sales rep, but am I an essential worker? So I can also then ask a question, and am I an essential worker? So this is actually now searching into HR knowledge and returns an answer, and what the guidance is for essential worker. So this is yet another skill that's managed by a digital assistant to be able to connect to an employee help desk, as well as file a service request. All right, so this is basically a digital assistant with multiple skills added to it. Now, how does it really work, and what does it really look like, right? How do you configure these digital assistant to handle these, to be able to route between these different skills or chatbot? So as it happens, during waiting, there's always a bit of timeout that we'll have to work through. Oh, sorry, I just realized. Okay, well, not going to use this. Okay, so use a different instance. So so what does it really look like? All right, so this is the user interface for developing okay, sorry, timed out. For developing chatbot, intelligent chatbot, and also digital assistant using the Oracle digital assistant platform. And the digital assistant that we actually have worked through is this digital assistant called Fusion App Digital Assistant. And we can open it, and you could see that there are a lot of these functionalities that are there. The digital assistant consists of multiple skills or individual chatbot, right? So in that example that I just went through, I started with the sales skill, went to the HCM skill, then went to the expenses, went to the, let's see, I went back to HCM and then went to procurement, and then end up with HCM knowledge, right? So the process for creating a digital assistant is this, right? So you first create a skill, which is an individual chatbot. If I look at an individual chatbot, you'll see the usual component, and we have covered this before in similar settings. This is where you would define intents and utterances and entities, define conversation flows, and so forth, and also define how a chatbot or skill connects to the backend. Then in digital assistant, basically you're configuring routing behavior between the different digital assistant, right? Skills. So first thing, you would basically add a number of skills that you want the digital assistant to manage to your digital assistant. You can add some example utterances, and these example utterances basically shows up in the digital system as hints. You know, what type of question can a particular skill in the digital system can handle. And one advantage for the digital system is also it has a lot of the system, what we call system intent, support out of the box to handle a lot of the common small talks. For example, goodbye, hi, cancel, can I start over? And these are, for example, example keywords for exiting the a skill, a few keywords for adding help, and you can see all of these digital assistant, the system intent for in digital assistant has these data pre-populated for small talk, so you don't have to enter these hundreds of these small talks. It's all provided as part of the digital assistant. Another nice thing is that you can also look at the statistics for this digital assistant, and how is the skills performing, is it able to resolve well, and also which of the skills are getting called most often, and so forth. And lastly, not the least, but this is a pretty important part of the digital assistant, is configuring digital assistant. Okay, how do you really configure that? On this general tab, there's just names, and in the configuration, these are all the parameters that you can tweak to define the routing behavior. So, for example, what is the confidence threshold for digital assistant to decide that a skill at utterance really should be routed to skill A or skill B, and what is the win margin? So basically, if a skill, for example, skill A and skill B both return 0.5 and 0.45, that's really within the where 0.5 and basically is 50% confident, 0.45, 45% confident. If the confidence difference is close enough, it's less than the win margin, then digital assistant is going to automatically pop a disambiguating, okay, do you mean A or B? Right. So this is, or if the win margin is greater than 10%, then it's just going to directly resolve to that. So these are the things that you can all tweak. There are also a lot of these keywords and small talk that you can tweak in the digital assistant. Now, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go through all of that. However, there is a lab And just do a little plug, in a few weeks, we're also going to run a hands-on lab for digital assistant, and you'll have an opportunity to actually define how digital assistant and creating your digital assistant and route to these different skills. All right. So that's in a nutshell how digital assistant is configured. I'm not sure if there's any question Q&A, but I'm sure.
No, Joe, I've been watching. There are not any questions yet.
Okay, good. All right. So, and that's so we talked about digital assistant, and that is a key component of the Oracle digital assistant, is this ability to route between different skills. All right, moving on to another key aspect of making a chatbot into advanced chatbot or a digital assistant is the ability to integrate with customer service systems. One of the largest key values or some of our large deployment for chatbot or digital assistant really has to do with customer service, right? It really and a chatbot has the ability to really enhance customer experience, customer service, and also offload live customer support. Customer service and interacting with customer service really requires a variety of conversation styles, right? So what would an end customer wants to do when they interact with a service system? Well, they may want to execute a transaction, whether it's file an SR or in the banking digital assistant, pay someone money and so forth. Another very common one, FAQ and knowledge articles. I think the one of the most common use cases getting support in knowledge base and knowledge article. All of the these customer service systems, whether you're talking about right now, which is Oracle Service Cloud, ServiceNow, Salesforce Service, Zendesk, they all have a authoring environment and a knowledge base that you'll be able to author and create a lot of knowledge articles. That's something that the customer service digital system or chatbot would definitely need to access, because users want to access those. Another thing is interacting with the live agent. Let's face it, the digital assistant will never be as smart as a real agent yet. But and so there will be a lot of cases where live agent is needed to handle a particular request. And conversely, sometimes live agent may want to defer and delegate some commonly answered question to a digital assistant. So a common theme for a customer service chatbot is be able to interact with a live agent system to be able to do live agent handoff. And another feature, then this is something that's Oracle provides. There's a product called Oracle Intelligent Advisor that helps you to define a basically personalized interview. And these are very useful, for example, to determine eligibility of whether a customer is eligible to return a product. You can imagine someone, for example, applying for employment, which unfortunately is a problem today. Really, the intelligent advisor can help determine the eligibility, and digital assistant can surface that. And another thing is digital assistant can proactively notify an user of customer service event. All right. So how does the digital assistant, what are the key use cases that it can complement customer service systems? So offload live agent load. Now, the digital assistant does provide two types of integration. And as I mentioned, Intelligent Advisor is a system to develop personalized interviews, and the digital assistant can serve as Intelligent Advisor. Also be able to search a knowledge-based article through digital assistant. Sorry about the typo on the screen there. And also develop standalone FAQs, as well as creating and executing custom transactions. For example, canceling orders, create service requests, and so forth. From an architecture standpoint, as I mentioned, there are two styles of how digital system can interact and integrate with live agent systems. The first style is that the digital system simply sits in front of the customer service systems, and the end customer would basically interact with digital system through a variety of messaging applications. And then when end user wants to escalate a request to a live agent, and this is all configurable, you can configure that in your digital system, in your skills, then it would hand off the request to a live agent system in the backend, along with the conversation history. This style of integration works with Oracle Service Cloud. As a matter of fact, we have out-of-the-box integration with Oracle Service Cloud, and you can integrate with the live agent system through a simple configuration. However, this can also be integrated with any third-party customer service systems that provides these chat APIs. So we have done integration with Zendesk, with Salesforce service, and ServiceNow, and so forth. The second style, the second style is, I'll just let it build out. The second style is digital system can act simply as one of the service agent. So this is a unique integration with the Oracle Service Cloud. Okay, so how that works is the customer would use the Service Cloud live chat system, and this is again very popular live chat system for customer support. Customers like Office Depot, Costco, they all use Service Cloud for live agent chat in this fashion. And the Service Cloud platform itself has the ability to say, okay, depending on the type of user or type of request, it can route to either a live agent, or in this case, digital system can participate as one of the agent, right? So in this case, the digital system is not really sitting out front like this. Digital system is actually sitting behind, the Service Cloud skills routing, and the nice thing again is that the digital system platform can then still hand off a conversation to a live agent and back and forth. But in this case, all of the skills routing is managed by the Service Cloud, and this is again unique to the digital system with a Service Cloud integration. And then adding the additional functionality of the Service Cloud, knowledge management, and also intelligent advisor, all of these can be surfaced through digital system. You really have a end-to-end complete system where digital system can handle a great majority of the requests and questions. We have customers that are able to offload 30–40% of the calls to live agent system, and that's a lot. I mean, think about how much it takes to run and also staff a call center. 30–40% savings is huge, and digital system is able to do that by providing these integrations with key component of a customer service system. So how does that look like? So I'm going to do a quick demo, and what that looks like. The first user I'm going to show you is the an agent user interface. So basically, I'm going to log in. All right, and the agent user interface basically is where I, as a customer service agent, would chat with a customer. The second one is the customer portal, where I'll be able to interact with a digital assistant. And I can start with, let's see, hopefully this has not timed out. I can start with a very simple question. Let's see, where is my, let me refresh the screen. Okay. All right. So when is my order arriving? I ordered a product from a from this Supremo Fitness company and arrived. It knows that, okay, I'm user and knows I have an order. I can check the order, and also I can link to a page to check my order status that is expected to arrive actually very shortly tomorrow. That's great. I can also ask a question. Heart rate. My heart rate monitor is showing strange results, and I can specify, okay, which model. And it's also now ask a question: is it close to a shower facility? Yeah, I put in the my spa shower facility, and then what it's doing is it goes to the Service Cloud knowledge base to search for the answer on why I'm seeing bad results with heart rate monitor. So integrating with that, as well as allowing me to create a support ticket. So I can say my name. Okay. All right, there you go. And then it goes to the back end to create a service request. So now I'm able to do all that without interacting with a live agent. I can also say return, I want to return a product. And what is going on in the back end is it's going to walk me through a series of questions. So this is actually interacting with Oracle Intelligent Advisor, and which is going to take me through a series of questions. And what's the purchase date? Well, gee, I really purchased a while ago. So about a month ago. 08/01/2020. Whoops. Oh, anyway, that is the correct format. Sorry. The I've been having with this demo lately. Okay, so I'm going to stop this. All right, so you get the general idea. I can basically walk through all of these flows, and also what Intelligent Advisor allows us to do is basically walk through a series of questions to determine whether I'm eligible to return a product or not. Sorry, the demo is not working today. And if I'm really not happy with the results, I can also at any time say I want to talk to an agent. Right. So again, digital assistant will never be able to handle all of the use questions. In this case, if I return to my agent desktop, I see an incoming chat. Right. Actually, let me run through this again. Let's see. What I want to say is. What was that question? Heart rate. Okay. So we'll just go through this, and there's a reason I wanted to go through this. Again, to show you a functionality or feature. All right. Now, if at this point I say want to talk to an agent, and there's a lot of ways that I can request an agent. This is all configurable, something that you would train the digital system to do. You can see that it's trying to hand off. And then what you will see here is you can see the entire conversation history being shown. Then at this point, I can interact with the digital system. So this is the architecture where the digital system basically sits in front of the Service Cloud, and I can start to interact with the agent. If I go back to my screen, I can see, hi, my name's Flint Lockwood. I can start to say, hi, how are you? Then at this point, all the conversation is being taken over by the agent, and I can say, all right, come back. and at this point, the agent would be able to continue the conversation. And also at any point, the user or the agent can end the conversation, and then the conversation is handed back to the digital assistant. All right, and that's one way of integrating with customer service systems. And Don, you're going to also talk about the second way, which is digital assistant as an agent and what that user experience looks like. So I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, Don, go ahead. You may be.
Can you see my screen, Joe?
Sorry.
How about now? Can you see that? Oh, wait.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
Great.
So just real quick, in the interest of time, as Joe alluded to, there's really two different ways of configuring a Service Cloud interaction or a live chat interaction within the digital assistant. Joe showed us the first way. And in my mind, it really comes down to what is the customer journey. So in the case that Joe just showed us, we started our journey with the digital assistant, and for whatever reason decided that we needed to interact with a human being. Another very popular way of deploying the Oracle Digital Assistant in the context of a service interaction. I'll give you an example of that right now. We have a fictitious company called Smartly, a variety of different products, and they have a support homepage that we're seeing right now. And really their customer journey for anybody that needs help or has a question is to go through chat. So if I were a customer on the Smartly page and I have a question about what is your return policy, for example, a fairly simple, straightforward FAQ that, as many of us know who work with customers, still questions like this still consume a lot of customer service agents' time out there, and candidly, this is a pretty straightforward question, so it should be addressable by conversational AI. So if I fill this out, my contact information, and my question is about a second generation Maestro thermostat, and I guess it's about ordering. Okay, so typically what would happen in this is this pre-chat form, once I submitted it, would be queued up for an agent within the contact center, and then a human would take it. Well, in this case, what we're going to do is we're actually going to give the digital assistant an opportunity to review the question and answer it, but only into the case where it's highly confident, the digital assistant is highly confident that it has something intelligent to say about it, and that the digital assistant actually services the particular product in question. And the reason I explain all that is because, again, this gives us a lot of flexibility in how far do we want to go with the digital assistant, how much do we want to train it before we deploy it. So really a lot of different options based on the combination of confidence levels as well as Service Cloud configuration. So in this case, I asked the question, what's the return policy? The policy is very generous. You can return it at any time. And let's say I follow up with, great. Will you refund my card? And let's say, unfortunately, the digital assistant can't help with that. So what it's going to do is it's going to automatically transfer you to a human agent. And as you can see, just as Joe just showed us, now I have switched the context on you. I'm now serving as the agent in the contact center for Smartly products. And as I can see, when I accept this case in Service Cloud, up comes the full dialogue. So I have an immediate appreciation for why the customer was talking to the digital assistant, what kinds of questions, and sorry about that. I'm able to immediately pick up this conversation in flight. So with that, Joe, in the interest of time, I'll hand it back to you.
Great, thank you so much. So we can see basically are these two styles of integrating with customer service systems. And as I mentioned, the first style where digital assistant sits on in front is really something that can be supported with any agent system. And the second style is unique to Service Cloud. And what Don just showed you is based on what you configure in the customer service systems, in this case, Service Cloud, is able to route the request to the appropriate either live agent or digital assistant. All right, the last topic I'm going to cover is advanced voice to text engine, Oracle Voice. Now, you must be wondering, and I think all of us probably used Alexa or Siri, or I don't want to speak too loud because I have one of those in my room. Well, why is Oracle? Now Oracle has a engine, voice to text engine, and that's part of the Oracle Digital Assistant. Why did we do that? Well, first of all, why is the voice important, right? It is really the most natural way to interact with a chatbot or digital assistant. There are a lot of these voice assistants now. We're all used to use the voice to interact with different type of capabilities. And all of these, there are also specific challenges for enterprise, for example, compliance, security, domain-specific vocabulary that would trip up the consumer grade voice assistant. So we provide an SDK to add speech capabilities. And the reason why we're doing that, one is there's a pretty well-known issue with Alexa in the past, where it's basically, there's a team of people behind the scene that's listening to the conversation. Obviously, we can't do that. We don't do that. There's GDPR, there's PI information that we are compliant with. So we want to make sure it's secure, it's private, and also very important, I'm going to show you in a minute, training it for enterprise-specific terminology. As a matter of fact, today, what we can do is we're on par for consumer utterances and much better with the enterprise utterances, and will also allow you to train the digital assistant with your own utterances. So I'm going to do a very quick demo of the digital assistant voice capability, and let's see the type of complex utterances is able to handle. And so this scenario is basically a hospital digital system where a doctor is dictating basically a patient condition to the digital assistant, and digital assistant is able to capture that. So let's give it a shot. Emily Brady's condition has gotten worse. Her symptoms are critical. She's short of breath and she's still coughing. Her fever has also increased to 100.3.8. I'm recommending her to put her on a ventilator. All right. So as you could see, I stumbled a bit on the on one of the temperature. So we'll see what the digital assistant is going to come back with. I am using a demo instance, so there's a bit of a timeout, but it's going to. There you go.
Feeling worse severity, critical symptoms.
Yes.
Thank you. The patient status information has been saved.
Okay, I can also have the digital assistant to guide me through a series of questions through voice. So I'm going to do one more demo here. John Smith's condition has gotten worse. His symptoms are critical. He's short of breath and still coughing.
Can I get the patient's temperature?
Now, one thing you notice is it also detects automatically the end sentence. So it's able to understand when I stop, it's the end of the sentence. It automatically sends the utterances to the digital assistant, so I don't have to continue. 101.2.
Is patient on supplemental oxygen?
No.
Summary for John Smith feeling.
Yes.
Thank you. The patient status information has been saved.
All right. So, and this is all delivered out of the box. So there's actually not anything that you need to configure. You just need to create the digital assistant behind the scenes to handle these complex utterances, and off we go. Now, another thing that I wanted to just do a quick demo of is how you can also train the digital system with your own and Oracle Voice to understand custom terminology that will trip up the typical voice assistant. So this is the last demo, and then we'll be able to wrap up. So let me play this. This demo will show custom speech language models in Oracle Digital Assistant and how they work with dynamic entities. Here's a Library of Congress demo skill with a dynamic entity called contributor name and a bunch of authors as the value. And we're able to use the custom language model feature to recognize obscure or domain-specific entity values, in this case, the French author Marie Ndaye. And I've used the ODA Headless Web SDK to automate the Library of Congress website and issue searches with voice requests, such as find books by Marie Ndaye. And so our custom language model is able to recognize that, and we're filtering for books by the contributor Marie Ndaye. And we can also automatically retrain our models when we receive new dynamic entity values. For instance, my entity doesn't have the obscure Finnish author Salla Simuka. Find books by Salla Simuka. You'll just have to trust me that that's not the right spelling, but I'm going to go ahead and automatically add ASR support just by sending that entity value to the digital assistant. So this is using the public already shipped digital APIs for custom entities. I'm going to create a request and push up the name Salla Simuka with that spelling and finalize the request. And now this author name is going to be in our list of dynamic entities that can be consumed by ODA. And by now, we've also automatically retrained our custom language model for speech, and now I'm able to ask for her with a voice request. Find books by Salla Simuka. And here we go. We've got the contributor, Salla Simuka, and we've got the books. And just as a comparison, since competitors don't allow custom language models, I'm going to use Google and Alexa. Find books by Salla Simuka. So, not quite. And here's Alexa, and I'm actually using a skill where I added that sentence to the training data, and here's what I get. Find books by Salla Simuka.
Here are your audiobooks.
So, didn't quite get it. Thanks for watching. All right. So, as you can tell, we now have the ability to also train Oracle Voice, and that's another key reason why we're shipping our voice engine, is that you would be able to train specific terminologies, not only just names, but also product names, company names that sound similar to another word. You can train that. All right, so in that demo, we throw around a lot of terminology, dynamic entities and all that. Obviously you understand the term entities, but what is dynamic entity? Well, we're going to, so there's a couple of things you could do if you're interested in more. One is that we are going to host a hands-on lab shortly, so keep watching the channel. Marcy is going to send out a notification where you can do a hands-on, creating your own digital assistant, try out Oracle Voice and so forth. Sign up for trials today. You'll be able to get access to digital assistant. Oracle obviously offers free trials. You can learn more and also connect to the digital assistant product site from oracle.com/DA. That's really easy to remember. And also we have a host of very rich set of training materials under this bit.ly/ODA doc. So it is case sensitive. If you don't remember to jog it down, that's fine. We're going to, again, run this again, run the hands-on lab, and you'll be able to access the tutorial from the hands-on lab and then run it using your free trial to learn about digital assistant, to build these advanced chatbot or digital assistant. And also you can get certified if you're interested in becoming a certified digital assistant developer. All right. So at this point, I'm 2 minutes over, but I do want to thank you very much for attending today's webcast with Don, Marcy, and myself. about advanced advanced chatbot, or I should say digital assistant development, and hope you enjoy the webcast. And with that, I think we can close the presentation. Have a great rest of the day, rest of the week. Stay safe, and hope to see everyone in our hands-on lab webcast to be taking place shortly. Thank you.